California, Jimmy.
Well, at least we know it's in Sacramento, California, and it's not like what did Michael Cole say on Monday? The Alamo Dome in San Diego.
Oh boy. Well, it was one of those sands.
He took a page out of the book of Our Truth.
Yes. Not remembering exactly where they're headed. Hopefully someone alerts him before January the 29th. Yeah. But let's chat about Sunday's show. It's headlined by a three-way involving AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and John Cena for the WWE Championship. And I think the promos were really strong on Tuesday going into this show. In particular, Dean Ambrose. The week prior, we got that great promo from John Cena on Talking Smack. And this feud, it's really been the promos to me that have kind of carried this program.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that this whole thing, to insert John Cena into this three-way match, the best possible way to do it is exactly what they're doing. Is he's going after a legacy. He's going to attempt to tie the 16-time, obviously official, unofficial 16-time champion.
Yeah, there's a few others sprinkled in there, but for the marketing purposes of Sunday, it is 16.
Yeah, so I like when John Cena comes out and he's not comical John Cena. He's more passionate. He fires people up. But I like the fact also that he brought into play the Stone Cold podcast and Steve Austin's kind of comments towards Dean Ambrose and maybe lighting a fire under Dean Ambrose because maybe Steve had a point. Maybe he was becoming a little complacent, or maybe he was just getting a little bit, upset with the direction he was going. And this little thing has now lit a fire under his ass.
Well, for me, this program, it's been something Dean Ambrose has needed for a long time. I mean, 2 weeks ago, he did that great promo to close out Talking Smack, which I think is my favorite WWE show.
Yeah. I like it because it blurs that line again. It doesn't follow a script, so to speak, or at least it doesn't appear to be following a script. It's almost like, here are the bullet points, go.
It's still in character, and it's not as though we're going so far off the path, which to me was always my criticism of Vince Russo and going that side where it was just calling it out for what it was. Like, oh, it's the politics in the back of why you're going to win this match. It's like, okay, well, we've stopped being a wrestling show now, and now it's just you're catering to such a smaller amount of the audience.
Right.
On Talking Smack, they're using their characters' motivations and making it feel much more realistic without ever deviating away from this is still a wrestling show.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like separating the two and saying, okay, all of this over here is pro wrestling. This little section here is all real. It's the real world. But this is all not the real world. This is just wrestling. So, again, to your point, I think it's being done perfectly.
Now, I think we can both agree it sounds way too early to be talking about a title change. AJ just won the title. There are programs for him aplenty, I feel, on SmackDown beyond this. Do you expect AJ keeps the title on Sunday?
I think so, and I think he moves on from Dean Ambrose and John Cena. I think those two are destined to have a little bit of a rivalry going on past this. And who's next for AJ Styles? Possibly a Randy Orton. I'm looking down the SmackDown roster, and that's when I start thinking, wow, who's next for AJ Styles after this three-way match? And other than Randy Orton, there isn't much there. I mean, do you hotshot a guy like a Baron Corbin into that spot? But I don't think so.
No. I categorize aplenty of challenges for him in the sense you can definitely go to Cena individually, Ambrose individually, and you do have Randy Orton. But certainly, I mean, beyond that, it's a stretch to make some of those guys. But nonetheless, I think AJ thus far, I mean, it's been less than a month, but certainly should be staying in that spot. And I like the idea of Cena and Ambrose peeling off because those two do have a chemistry together thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard, like I said, it almost seems like John Cena has lit that fire under Dean Ambrose, and that chemistry is working right now.
You've also, with this program, introduced that eventual goal for Cena to get to that number of title wins. And that's something that can always be, it can be at the forefront for this Sunday, and it can go to the back burner. It's there, and it's been introduced, and that is something that, come next year, it's something that could be his WrestleMania chase. It could be something you can go to at any time. You've introduced it now. You know that's one of his key motivations for this character.
Right, and also it's also a way to reintroduce back Ric Flair into the fold, so to speak.
Always a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
We move on down. The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. It is title versus career, Jimmy. The career match, something that largely brings about a groan based on past results. But this one, I feel we're getting the title switch. I think this is Dolph Ziggler's win and ends what has been, to me, a really strong run for The Miz. I would argue this has been his best run, and that, to me, includes when he first won the title back in 2010, and he had a lot of momentum then. I think since the brand split, he's been one of the best performers on this show.
Yeah, I agree. And the only problem here is putting the career on the line almost in this day and age telegraphs to the audience what they believe is going to happen. Now, I know that there's rumors circulating out there on the interweb that maybe Dolph Ziggler is primed for a different position in a backstage role. In my opinion, that could be a seed that was planted purposely by someone just to get people to doubt the outcome of the match. But I still think, I agree with you, I think Dolph Ziggler comes out ahead. What I'd like to see from Dolph Ziggler is a different Dolph Ziggler, though.
A turn.
Whether it's a turn or just a different attitude or somebody who's completely different from what we've seen. Maybe, like I said before, a haircut, go back to the more natural colors, not looking a lot like a Shawn Michaels knockoff, and just a completely different look and a completely different attitude. Almost like Mick Foley did in ECW, where he went away from pleasing the fans with his hardcore style and kind of went in the complete opposite direction. Maybe Dolph Ziggler can go from being the showstopper to being just the guy who just
go from the show off to
yes,
I'm the show.
Yes, exactly.
With all respect to Paul White.
Yeah, pretty much.
The medium show.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the video and that entire Miz TV segment on SmackDown this week. To me, that video, it's a perfect justification for this turn for Dolph, that here I am trying to bust my ass for the audience and look at my career. Look at where it's got me. And it can lead to this turn coming out of this. Now, where The Miz goes from here is also interesting because he, to me, is someone you can elevate into a higher role. He has been, to me, it's been The Miz and the Usos that have been two of the biggest surprises. Not even surprises. They've really run with what has been given them, and they have certainly benefited from this brand split.
Absolutely. Miz could very well fit into the world title picture. Again, you'll have basically two heels. We'll have AJ Styles and The Miz, but then again, he has elevated himself to the point where he would fit right in a main event picture. And conversely, going back to what you said about that video package on Miz TV with Dolph Ziggler, again, kind of intertwining a little bit of reality without going, full-born, breaking kayfabe, so to speak. So that's what worked for me. And with the WWE, too, because usually they do not reference past characters and past iterations of certain superstars, and they did exactly that in that package.
And with Mike Mondo and Ken Doane cameos as well.
I know.
Which is amazing when you look at it. When Ken Doane, who everyone thought this guy was going to be such a massive breakout star, and he was called up to the main roster at 19. And, I mean, even now, he's 30 years old. I mean, he was someone in 2005. It's just most people pegged him to be the real breakout amongst those Spirit Squad members. Let us continue to go on. The tag title program will feature Heath Slater and Rhino taking on the Usos. For me, it was the chase of Slater and Rhino and overcoming the odds. That kind of was the chase was the valuable part. And then they won the titles, and it feels as though the momentum has stalled at this point. The Usos, I think, have been excellent since this turn. I would be flipping the titles onto the Usos now, and Slater and Rhino can still have a part on the show. But I just feel like the championship program, I would really like to see the Usos and American Alpha, because the Usos have been great.
I think the Usos as heels have been phenomenal. This was a much needed heel turn for them. Going off that talking smack again when they went off on Roman Reigns, their cousin, guilty by association. The fans turn on him, so they turn on the fans.
They've adjusted their style as well.
Everything, their look, their style, their attitude, everything.
The chop block on the knee, I mean, that's great.
It's something that's effective, and it can, when you talk about moves that could be done on anybody, it doesn't matter if you're the Big Show or Kalisto. You do a chop block on the knee, it works.
Yeah, I just think the Usos have been great, and I think you should get the titles on them.
I agree.
ASAP. Also on this, Becky Lynch defending the women's title against Alexa Bliss. with Alexa, this is certainly a big opportunity for her to probably get some time on a pay-per-view. You would figure these two are going to get that time to go out there and have a proper match. And we're going to see Alexa's made a lot of improvements character-wise.
Right.
And she's in there with somebody that she can have a very good match with.
Absolutely. And of course, Becky Lynch will be the general in this match, so to speak. I'm pleasantly surprised by Alexa Bliss, like you said, from a character standpoint and how she's been on the microphone. A little bit surprised and pleasantly surprised, which is really good. Again, going into Sunday, I don't expect a title switch here either, but this is an opportunity for her to elevate her status as one of the main women on the SmackDown brand.
Yeah, I think this match might surprise people. I don't know how high expectations are, but I can see them having a very good match.
I'm not familiar with how much they worked together when they were both in NXT, whether they got to work together at all, but maybe in training or something, because one of the things about the women's matches in NXT, especially when you talk about the takeover matches, is those women have had the benefit of getting to work out these matches at the Performance Center for weeks.
Right.
And, when you're on the main roster, you don't get that. It's almost baptism by fire. You have to do it at a house show.
Sure.
So we'll see how their chemistry is on Sunday.
Yeah, and likewise with Nikki Bella and Carmella. While the personality side, I think, has come out with Carmella since her own turn, she is someone I think that certainly this is going to be, I think, a tougher match because, I mean, Carmella is just, she isn't as experienced. And she's in there with Nikki Bella, who, I mean, we'll see what they do together, but my expectations are lower for this one.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this one's going to be more show, and the other ladies' match will be more go.
How about Daniel Bryan's prediction on Talking Smack when he was asked who's going to win this one? He predicted, I don't think there will be a finish because Carmella has been taking the fight everywhere around the arena, and he wanted this to be a no DQ match, but it's not. How about that for a telegraphing?
Well, maybe they'll have a Falls Count Anywhere match with the women.
Could be.
Somewhere down the line.
Also on the show, we've got Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. My clock is set for Sunday night at roughly 11 p.m. Eastern Time, which should signal the end of this feud, Jimmy, and it can't come soon enough. That is what I am going to be thankful for this coming weekend for Canadian Thanksgiving, because I think this has been dreadful.
See, it's funny because this was a rivalry, feud, whatever you want to call it, that I was really looking forward to because I thought it was one of those deals where Bray Wyatt was finally going to get elevated to the status that we want Bray Wyatt at. And what better guy to do it than against Randy Orton? But then Randy Orton had that match against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam and pretty much got decimated by him. So now, is this a rebuilding stage for Randy
Someone
Orton?
went and watched the new Blair Witch movie is what happened, Jimmy, because the last 2 weeks have been just some of the campiest stuff I've seen on WWE television in years.
Yeah, and I get it. I get the whole Bray Wyatt, the mystical character that he is. At the same time, trying to incorporate this... what did he do? He evaporated? What did he do? What did Daniel Bryan say?
Yes, he said, take me home.
Vaporized?
Which is what I'm telling these two to do for this feud, is to take it home. I hope Randy Orton just wins, moves on. AJ Styles would be a fine program. But I'm done with this one, Jimmy.
I'm still
I know
enjoying...
you're more glass half full.
I know, but it's only because I think this will be a good match.
It probably will be a good match.
Yeah.
But my goodness, this build-up has just... To me, this feud has been everything of why Bray Wyatt has not gotten to the level everyone has anticipated. Because
Exactly.
I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of this character. And it just becomes the hocus-pocus show.
Right.
And I'm thinking, based on the non-finish on Tuesday, that it's going to be Bray Wyatt and Kane after this. Which, my God... Where are we going to go? And they'll be feuding over Halloween, potentially.
Oh, that means pumpkins and stuff. Nah, scarecrows.
No, Smashing Pumpkins is
that's the
property of Impact.
Oh, okay. Well, again, more rumors.
That spot was done just this past Sunday as well. We got our Smashing Pumpkins spot for the month of October.
Right.
All right. That is No Mercy. I don't think I'm missing out on anything, though I expect...
the debut of Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins will debut.
Yeah.
50-50 he even wins this debut.
Oh, well, who does he debut against? Do you put him in there? Apollo Creed, Cruz, somebody?
Could be. Apollo Crews, where has that guy been?
I don't know.
Disappeared? Jack Swagger and Baron Corbin, that would likely be a rematch that we could see added on Sunday.
Maybe a pre-show?
And not to mention, we got a really heavy angle on Tuesday where the Hype Bros, they beat the Vaudevillains and then pointed at the Ascension who had the audacity to come out and watch their match. And thus, we have an issue.
Yeah, and I forget who said it. It's not like they don't have 65 monitors backstage that the Ascension could have just sat down in front of and watched. But, hey, maybe they wanted a ringside view.
Maybe they just want to compliment them.
Maybe they just want to get seen on TV.
The Hype Bros just jumped to conclusions.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our No Mercy preview coming up on Sunday night, going head-to-head with the U.S. presidential debate. What is Jimmy Korderas going to be watching?
Oh, my goodness. See, that's a tough one. I'm going to have to split screen this one and turn the volume off. Oh, wait a minute. It is a SmackDown pay-per-view, so that means David Otunga. I'll probably have the volume on the debate.
There you have it. I mean, Twitter would be very disappointed if Jimmy Korderas is not tweeting about the debate.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Twitter. I took a little break, but I'm back now.
He's back. Jimmy Korderas, the only place to be on Sunday night. And you can catch The Law after No Mercy. We're going to be up at midnight Eastern. It will be myself and Jason Agnew running through No Mercy. Plus, we'll be joined by Mick